では両者同時にポケモンを出してください。3、2、1。
決めに決めた。
落とすパス。
ピカチュウ。
Hey everyone, it's Mark. This is my recap for Pokemon Journeys episode 85, the Rival Showdown, Ash vs. B. This was the 1170th episode of the Pokemon anime and the first of this two-part Ultra Class battle. The only thing I want to say here at the start is thank you all so much for helping me reach 4,000 subs. At this time a year ago, I only had 300 subscribers, so thanks so much for all the support, and let's keep on growing our little community as we enjoy the Pokemon anime together. With that out of the way, let's break down this jam-packed episode. The episode opens with a recap of the World Coronation series so far, which I just expect at this point, even though it's probably pointless for most viewers, but instead of talking about the show's recap for Ash's first battle against B, let's throw it back to my analysis of their first battle. It wasn't that bad, right? Listen, that meme wasn't that old back then, it might be now, but I still thought it was funny a year ago. Anyways, now that we're finished talking about the past, we cut to Stowan's side, as Ash and Go have arrived a day early for the scheduled battle. I don't know if I'm reading too much into what the narrator was saying here, but they called this Ash and B's decisive battle. I'm not sure if that's just because Ash has yet to defeat B, or if they mean decisive as in, like, the final battle that will settle their rivalry. Because if that's the case, then, well, duh, Ash is going to win this one. Again, maybe I'm just reading too much into a really minor detail. Anyways, the boys interrupt a training session and B greets the Riolu trainer, which just annoys Ash. Once he sends out his Lucario, she starts to call him the Lucario trainer, but maybe she'll respect Ash a little more after their battle. Since B had all 6 of her Pokemon out, Ash sends out his entire team, either just to show them off or to make it even so that both sides had seen all of their potential opponents before the battle. Just then, Korrina appears out of nowhere, and uh-oh, she does not look happy. I don't know about you, but this seemed like the most obvious swerve ever that Korrina was not actually mad, but Ash and Go lead us on for a bit by recalling how B called Korrina soft when she mentioned that she had defeated her before. But in a shocking turn of events, a new ship was born as it turns out that Korrina and B are actually really good friends, much to the shock of Ash and Go. Korrina says that she wanted to bring B, who we know has a sweet tooth, some Lumiose galettes, but she brought something else instead. Everyone sits down to eat, and while the Pokemon enjoy some Pokepuffs, Korrina brings out some Lavere chocolates for the group. Now, apparently these chocolates all have a Generation 6 fairy theme to them, and I can pick out what every single one is based on, except the middle right one. It looks like a mushroom, not a Gen 6 fairy type. Maybe one of you can figure that out for me. The discussion turns to Korrina and B's unlikely friendship, which I guess isn't all that unlikely considering they are 2 female fighting type gym leaders around the same age, although they do have 2 very different personalities. Korrina says that she can learn a lot from B about how she trains her Pokemon, while B says that she can learn a lot from Korrina, specifically a lot about sweets. A little awkward, but funny. They end their pre-battle meetup by B saying that her and Ash's third battle will be like a trial, and Korrina spins around in excitement for the battle to start. She can't wait, and neither can we. Let's get this show on the road already. There's a quick scene of Ash struggling to fall asleep because he's so fired up, but it was cute when Pikachu mimicked his excitement even while it was sleeping. Cut to the next day, and the stage is set. Even our spectators are ready. We've got Go, Korrina, and an adult Cameron in the stands, while Ash and B take to the battlefield. These pre-battle announcements are actually super interesting, so let's break these down quickly. After they make the observation that B is wearing a Dynamax band, Korrina explains that this gym is on a power spot, which is just funny to me because Go did use Dynamax like 200 yards away from where he is now 42 episodes ago. As Ash enters, the announcer notes that he beat Vulkner by using a Z move, and says that Ash is the one that everyone has has their eyes on. Ash's popularity is a weird thing in the anime. Like, he should be world famous, but I guess he's just kind of this unknown trainer that's gaining popularity through this tournament. The announcer is surprised to see Ash wearing a keystone, and they explain that in the World Coronation series, a trainer can only use one of either Dynamax, Mega Evolution, or a Z move in a single battle. I really love this clarification, even if it does rule out the possibility of Ash using all three in the same battle. This adds another layer of strategy to this that I absolutely love, considering we will likely see Ash use one of these three techniques in every battle from here on out. 11 minutes into the episode, it's finally time for the battle to start, as Ash chooses Pikachu while BEA sends out Graplock, an interesting choice to start with. Pikachu quickly gets the upper hand, but Graplock counters well by using close combat through the Electro Web thanks to its stretchy tentacles. Ash decides to recall Pikachu after this, and we get the first of 3 switches in this episode, continuing on the increased amount of strategy that we saw in Ash's battle against Volkner. Ash is quick to get Lucario in the battle to face off against Graplock, but BEA quickly recalls it after using Detect to dodge an Aura Sphere. BEA's second pick is Hawlucha, which is kinda disappointing to see since we've seen it used once before, but I'll explain later why I actually like this choice. The next phase of the battle is basically just Lucario taking a bunch of offense. It's trying its best to defend and deflect as many attacks as possible, but it's not landing any hits of his own, and even gets nailed with a dead-on Sky attack. Just as Lucario is able to withstand Hawlucha's attacks, BEA recalls it, favoring an all-out offensive approach to this battle. She doesn't want any of her Pokemon potentially getting exposed out there, so she's switching them out early before Ash can find any openings. Her third Pokemon is Machamp, and even though Machamp debuted in the anime 1,141 episodes ago, this was actually the first time that a Machamp has gotten a Pokedex entry in the history of the anime. Even more interesting, Korrina points out that Machamp is BEA's true ace, as Go realizes that it must be capable of Gigantamaxing. For now though, Machamp just battles normally and overwhelms Lucario with a Bullet Punch Assault. It's got the speed of a priority move, but Machamp's 4 arms basically make it a close combat-like attack, and it even uses 1 or 2 of its arms just to immobilize Lucario, making it essentially defenseless. This was pretty brutal for Lucario. I mean, Machamp's strategy here is probably even more devastating than Graplock's Octolock, if I'm being honest. Ash, realizing that he needs to change something, and fast, decides to Mega Evolve Lucario, but just as he starts to activate the Keystone, Lucario calls out to him and refuses to Mega Evolve, which was an interesting move. This turn of events throws everyone off guard, including BEA and Machamp. So Lucario takes advantage of this and frees itself by headbutting Machamp as hard as it can. Ash is not too fazed by this, and he's on the same page with his Pokemon, so everything's all good. However, the battle kind of grinds to a halt right here because the announcer is totally rattled by this, claiming that Ash and Lucario must not be on the same page. BEA realizes that Lucario just told Ash that it didn't want to Mega Evolve yet, and she actually respects that kind of relationship between Pokemon and trainer. But as the announcer continues to be confused, he gets interrupted by Leon of all people. Did not see this coming, but in classic Leon fashion, he just got lost on the way here. Typical. Leon explains that Ash and Lucario's bond is really deep and they understand each other perfectly, and after he's done over-explaining what we already know, he joins the regular announcer as the battle resumes. Well, actually, the episode cuts off right there. Alright then. I'm giving this episode an 8 out of 10 rating. I really like this episode. Unfortunately, I was spoiled that this battle was getting split into 2 episodes. I would have much preferred to not know that ahead of time, but oh well, that's life, I guess. Although some people may say this episode was too slow-paced and we didn't get enough battling, this is actually exactly what I've been calling for from Journeys for a while now. A 2-part episode that allows both character moments and battle action to breathe instead of cramming everything into one episode. Admittedly, I was leaning towards giving this like an 8.5 rating, but the sudden ending was a small negative for me. Leon's surprise appearance was cool, but like I mentioned before, it seemed like they just stopped the battle and explained to us 3 different times why Lucario refused Ash's Mega Evolution. Like, we got it the first time when Ash explained what was going on. Did we really need all of that fuss with the announcer and Leon talking about it over and over? Again, this only dropped the episode rating for me by like 0.5. I'm not saying it was horrible or anything, I just thought it was a weird thing to happen. The episode overall was really good. I didn't even expect Korrina to be in this episode, but I thought she actually added a lot to it. Her friendship with BEA B was nice, and we learned more about B and Korrina thanks to the little picnic we had before the battle. It's almost like they took our suggestions from that rushed episode when Iris returned and gave us a more drawn-out 2-episode story arc here. As for the battle itself, everything has been fairly basic so far. The beginning was just a feeling out process, and then B took control using what I thought was good strategy. Her constant switches kept all of her Pokemon at near top strength, while Lucario got beaten down real bad. Now, looking ahead, I feel like this is just basic storytelling. Lucario takes a ton of punishment early on, making it all the more epic when it comes back and wins the battle for Ash. But there's still a long way to go in this battle, and that takes us straight to the preview for the next episode. I have a feeling that episode 86 is going to be basically entirely battling, kind of like how episode 77 was for Ash vs. Faulkner. We've got all of the character moments out of the way, and now it's going to be all action. Well, aside from what will probably be too many comments from Go, Korrina, the announcer, and Leon all watching on, I hope they don't take too much of the spotlight away from the battle itself. If we look closely at this shot here, we can see that both Ash and B will have lost a Pokemon, and I think that's because we're going to finally see Sirfetch'd get its revenge on Hawlucha from back during Ash and B's first encounter. I mentioned earlier that I would explain why I actually was happy to see Hawlucha this battle, and it's because I bet Sirfetch'd will get the first knockout of the battle before Grapploct takes out Sirfetch'd. Then, Grapploct will probably take out Pikachu, leaving Lucario to save the day. Of course, Lucario will finally overcome its rival, and I bet it will even defeat Grapploct without Mega Evolving. After that, though, it'll be down to Gigantamax Machamp versus Mega Lucario, and this is where there's still a question mark over who will win. I asked you guys who you thought would win over on my community tab, and 87% of you are siding with Ash on this one. Now, I actually probably want B to win this one, but I think everything is setting up for an Ash victory. So I think we'll see Ash's first time using Mega Evolution earn him the victory, probably sending his ranking into the mid to low 40s as a result. This is setting up to be an incredible battle, and I can't wait to see how it will unfold. In the meantime, thank you all so much for watching this video, and special shout out to the people who hit the join button and became channel members. The one perk that I've actually got to deliver on is to shout you guys out in every video, so I made this little text to do exactly that. Just let me know if you want different colors for your name. Other than that, be sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.